Yeah. So what are we discussing today? What's the topic today?
So today, the topic that we're discussing today is talking about men, how some men, emphasize on some, are not mening how they supposed to men.
Yeah, like you said, some men, because not all men. So we're not gonna dog all men like that.
So
what do you?
Okay, so specifically, what I'm trying to say is the male loneliness epidemic that's going on. Like when people are saying the male loneliness epidemic. Let's start off with, why do you feel this male loneliness epidemic is going on? And then I'll give my opinion after.
I honestly feel that I don't want to say too much generations, because like I said, it's not all. It's a entitlement. I think it's entitlement. And I think both men and women, but then we'll go specifically to men. I think a lot of people think a relationship is supposed to just be. We have these gender ideas of what men and women are supposed to do. And I think a lot of it is that we have expectations, and I don't think those expectations are being fulfilled, and we're not looking within ourselves to see that we may not be also doing those things. And with men, since we are in a patriarchal society, I think a lot of men think women are supposed to, they put women in a different category. I've not been in that field, so you may have more of an insight than I do.
Jessica, okay, I feel my explanation on why I think the men epidemic, however I'm saying it wrong, is happening. And I probably can get canceled for this, but this is my opinion. I feel that the men loneliness epidemic is happening because of men, number one. Number two, I think that a lot of these men and women, we're talking about men today, a lot of men are raised by single parent households. And I think that if you're raised in a single parent household, all they see is how their mother is reacting to the men that they're trying to date. Like, so they're acting like how their mothers want to be treated. If your mom is like, I need to be the princess and I want a man to take care of me, this and that, and that's all they see. They don't see a male perspective or a male raising them to help them with anything. They're picking up how they think their mom should be acting. So now they want princess treatment. And so now here we are, we're battling on who wants to be princesses in this. I don't know if you've seen that movie or that Netflix documentary where a lot of the red pill guys with the podcast.
The podcast bros.
Yeah, like them. Yeah, it's like that. And then they was talking about and they did a documentary on it. And the guy who was doing the documentary on them, he was the most masculine man in there. He was like in his late 60s something, and he was the most attractive out of all of them. Like he was like scratching their head, like looking at them crazy. And they was just, I'm telling you, these dudes, they was probably still upset at the girl in high school that ignored them, and they pissed off, and they like basically all of it, and all of them had no father figure. All of them they hate women so bad because they hate their mothers, because their mothers, or whatever reason, and they don't have no man to show them how to love their mother, so they don't know how to do that part. All they see is their mama and what their mama wants, so they picking up thinking they need to be like that. None of them had father figures.
But see, I don't think a lot. I mean, you can put that for like inside, because like in schools they don't have like the shops and the whole things where young men and girls could do after school or whatever. So you are left to your vices, what you see on the internet, as far as like he's streaming, and a lot of these guys, I don't think they like women. And I don't think you can necessarily say that a single mother household would be a problem, because there are plenty of men that are raised as single that men.
There are exceptions, because they either have a grandfather, because we know some instances
a teacher,
or grandfather and their parents are together. You know what I'm saying? We know people like that actually grew up with a grandfather and grandmother that are together. They see that dynamic. They're the exception. But people who don't have none at all, which these guys did, they didn't have any. It was just like their mother and them. They don't have nobody to show that how their mother need to be loved. So they don't know how to. And I think that's where a lot of that comes from. Is not having a father, and again leads on men not doing what they're supposed to. You will sit there, these red pill dudes, podcast dudes, They want women who are under 25. They want women who are
not younger.
They want these women who are this certain type of way. Why are they screwing these women? So you're trying to get these perfect women over here, but you're out there screwing them. Who are these women screwing if it's not, but you don't want nobody that's been screwing? Like, it makes no sense to me.
I don't understand that.
Hoes.
Yeah.
I'll give you hoes, but you don't want a hoe.
Yeah, I don't understand that mentality.
I don't understand it either. That's what I'm saying. They don't have no representation of a man to how to be a man. So that's where a lot of this stuff is coming from. And on top of that, there was on Instagram, there was a guy that was like that. He also didn't have a father figure growing up, and he one of those guys that wanted to do buff and this, and men, this is what you do, and let me show men how to be men, this and that, and I know women better than women know themselves, type of thing. So he said something along them lines, and I was like, because it was me and him going back and forth, and then there was other girls chiming in, and he said, I can't remember what it was, but I was telling him, like, so that's not true. I was like, what your type of girl that you're describing is a girl with that's like, less than 25, 26, 27. Like, girls like that are like, they like guys in the gym, they like the aesthetics and all this stuff. But if you're dealing with a woman your age and up, that's not all the way the case. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're gonna pick the guy that's more reliable, resourceful, more calm together. You don't have to be no buff guy in the gym. It's not always about aesthetics. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, he's like, well, I feel I know women more than women know themselves, and we was going back and forth, and I had to block them.
Like the red pill guys and the guys you explain, they like the younger girls because they can manipulate them. Yeah. They're easy to manipulate, whereas seasoned and older women aren't going for that. So it's like a missing each other as far as on maturity level is what I see a lot. The mature men who got their stuff together won't be offended by women saying these things because they know it's not them. The immature minded guys, the ones that always be in women's comments and shit,
arguing.
You the reason why. And when you realize and do that shadow work and look at yourself, then as women, we can survive this. We don't never have no women loneliness. We just don't, because
at all.
The men going through this, it's your character. Men have this delusion that women want the buff, no, I need you to be we need to be able to hear. I need to know that you got my back and I got your back. So
it's not always
about that physical. The physical plays, but as you start aging and growing up, it's more of mental intimacy, security is what it is. And so the thing that gets me is the guys who will boldly and say they prefer younger women. And if you're at a certain age, men like to procreate and all this stuff, and then you getting worn out and old. It's like, when I see these things online, I don't even entertain. Now, if I have, I go through stages. If I'm feeling froggy, I'll go and I'll argue. But other than that, as soon as you start typing, if you a man and you type in something like, you're not even worth my thought on my time to entertain. Because right there, I can see why you going through what you're going through.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me. And it's just maturity level where you are. Some people take a little bit longer to get there. But no, if you a man and you want a woman, because ain't no grown woman trying to deal with no immature and no.
Yeah.
And then the men that want the younger girls don't care that them younger girls want you thinking you have the stability that they looking for. But then once you start being with them and they realize you just playing to get in their wrongs, like you using them. Man.
Yeah, and it's crazy because in my situation, like I think that I'm cool on the whole dating thing. Like I'm cool. Like I ain't trying to. I'll sit there and be like imaginary Rhasha, a companion to be nice or whatever. But I honestly is absolutely not, because every time I have try to like even I'm just existing. Like all the guys that ever approach me, I never had a good experience with a man ever in my life, and it's always sexual. It's like nobody at all wants to get to know me for who I am. It's like strictly sexual. And I don't know what kind of energy I'm giving off when I'm just sitting here doing myself, being myself. But it's always like sexual energy, always just wanting something. Like all my DMs is filled with, oh, what I can do for you, this and that, or when we're going to hang out, when you want to come to my house, all this stuff. And I'm just like, I don't understand. So I said at that point, a lot of men, like 95% of men is out here playing. And I think there's only a handful of good men. I don't think it's enough for us to go around. No, you ain't gonna change my mind. It's not enough to go around.
I think it's really, I don't know. I want to say a rarity, but I'm not even gonna say a rarity because it's possible. It is possible. It's where you are and how you are. It depends. The person. I think honestly, people have in their head like a fantasy, like the books and the novels and the movies we watch on TV. You think being in a relationship or even a courtship is like what you see in the movies, TV shows, or what you read in these books. And it's not like that. We all start out trying to impress who we want, put on the clothes, we go get our nails done and our hair done and all that stuff to go out on these dates and all that stuff. And so as you're doing that, depending on like the conversations and all that stuff is where you start to get to know. And you have to pay attention what people are saying in those conversations. But then it just depends on you. Some people aren't as in tune and attentive to what people are saying or whatever. But you hoping and you wishing for the best. That okay, this is right. And then when you start talking, the masks start slipping.
And all the time they do.
Yeah, and then you have to, I want to say it probably just depends on the person you are. Like me, I'm straightforward. I don't never, when I talk to people or even when guys were approaching me, it's never in my mind that someone is talking to me because they may be attracted or wanting to see. I never until the conversation starts. And then me, I'm observant. I may seem as if I'm not sometimes, but I'm observant and I'm listening to how you're talking and what you're saying. And people 9 times out of 10, if you're paying attention, can tell you off the bat. And your gut always tells you. Your gut always tells you. But people don't like to listen to that. And it's like, okay, I want to feel what having a boyfriend is or girlfriend and all that stuff, and you don't pay attention to those signs, and then it's like everybody wants somebody, but don't nobody want to do the work.
Yeah, but like that's in the beginning I was like that I see what's going on. It's like they all are really the same. It's like I can't even have any
location.
No, it's just that that's all they want. Like every guy that I ever come in contact, that's all they want. I have not met a good guy yet. I have not, and I don't understand. My whole motherfucking life, I have not met a good guy.
Sometimes I do wish that, women experience, like I said, like I didn't have to date, thank God, because I wouldn't have been or whatever, but
I can't do it. Like I don't feel like I don't think it's in the cards for me, and that's
don't
fine.
Say that. Don't say
it's
that.
Definitely that, Jessica. It's definitely that. I think my sole purpose on this earth is to just learn how to control my emotions.
You need to work on yourself. Your sole purpose in life is working on yourself, and you never know who. So you may be doing something, be an example to somebody, and you may never know. People want to make a difference in the world for multiple people, but hell, you could be making a difference for just one person and not even know it.
Okay, so that's fine and well, and I don't mind being a nice person like that, but I just don't see it for me because I haven't had no experience where it doesn't turn to them saying something sexual.
Well, men are going to.
So why would you do that and ruin everything?
You don't think they may be uncomfortable or what is that nervous energy? Everybody's nervous energy can be displayed differently. From just knowing what I know, how men don't know. They'll test you and see where you are and how you respond or whatever. So in a sense that way, sometimes I would laugh it off and then just talk, not knowing, because you can look and see that somebody is just as nervous as you are, and they probably don't know how. They're probably used to being surrounded by girls who wouldn't be offended by being like that. So they don't know if you're one of those girls. And so but see, when you do that, when you don't leave no room, You could be missing somebody because you could have a thing and some guy could be trying to see where you are and you just automatically block us up. And don't give it, and it's like, I understand.
But why would that be okay to do something, to say something sexual to somebody you don't know at something nervous? That's just like,
it's not. But you also got to understand you're not a man. So if you ask a man, why do that? Because you're seeing that, okay, this seems to be a pattern. You ask a man who you're comfortable talking to, okay, this is whatever, and they'll sit and tell you and explain to you, because we don't act the way that they do.
So it's all boils down to sex. It all boils down to sex.
In a man's perspective, yeah.
I ain't falling for it. You're not gonna get my draws and you corny as fuck talking about something.
No.
You don't know me.
Rhasha, what do you mean? Okay.
I don't understand you.
We're gonna say men are corny as hell, okay, but in whatever. But that may be something they're just not sure of, because men and women move differently. Just like you respect or expect a certain men to move a certain way, men expect us to move a certain way, and not like expecting like, okay, well, this is what I'm not gonna do it. No, they also have this idea, just like we have this ideal of what a man should be. They have an ideal of what women should be and how they should act. So now we all button heads because we don't want to understand the thinkings of each other. We don't think the same. So if you don't sit and talk to a man and see, that's why I can't do that. That's why y'all strong. For y'all that have to go through all this and going through all that, because me, if I'm not sure, I'm gonna ask. Like, why do y'all do that? But I'm asking because I genuinely want to know. Because if I'm seeing a pattern, I need to know, okay, is this all? Because I know this can't be all out. So let me go and ask.
I ask him just because when I ask him, it turns into, oh, you ugly anyway. Ain't nobody, you gonna be alone.
Okay, well, soon as all of that starts, then that's a cut. Scratch that one off the list. That's not even
all
somebody.
Of them, Jessica. All the guys I be talking to. That's all of them, Jesse. I have no good.
Now, is it all the guys that you're talking to that you are attracted to?
No, Jessica, half ugly.
Ugly as in what? Physical ugly?
No, ugly as in all of it. Jessica, listen. All right, so I'm not gonna say ugly. All right, I'm gonna say not my first pick. Okay, and I accepted on personality basis, like we supposed to. Not being 100% attracted to a person, just trying to see how their personality is, and they still all want sex.
See, I don't know. I don't understand that. I really don't.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's not in the cards for me. Maybe, it's just not in the cards for me, and that's okay, because I understand what my issue is. I understand that I'm crazy. I own it. I don't have any, besides what you probably may think about me, I know what a lot of my expectations. I know it's not fairy tale. Okay, the only two things that I require is to want to get to know me for who I am, and to not bring sexual stuff up in the first daggone week or so of us talking. Like,
but see, I think you probably need to explain that. I think you need to say, see, I never carry an expectation of nobody. I don't carry any expectation. Because
for me, that's just basic respect. Like, I'm not going to sit there and talk to a guy that I don't know and talk about some, oh yeah, how big are you? Oh yeah, let me see it.
But
I'm not going to say those things.
To me, when I'm talking to somebody, if I'm, even before or whatever, I always mention that, okay, my comfortability level. Just like with the one that I mentioned when I was starting school. Mm-hmm. And he sat down and we started talking and then gave the timeline and all that.
Girl,
I didn't make the guy feel whatever, because in my mind, by him saying that was like, okay, he used to talking to women or young girls, young women or whatever. I'm not going to say girls, I'm going to say young women. And used to getting a certain response. So by me asking the way I asked, he's like, okay, well, she probably in a different category or whatever. And just the reason why these type of conversations, I can't really flow with it. It's just because how my mind interprets stuff. I'm going to ask you, because to me, both of us not going to be feeling uncomfortable. I don't grasp that. And I think this is where it comes into confidence within yourself. If you can concentrate on yourself first, then you will be okay to ask those questions. And then you'll end up like, okay, well, she asked me, all right, well, let me just roll it back a little bit. I need to talk to this lady differently.
But by that point, by that point, the damage is already done because you know.
Why would the damage be done? You don't know each other, so you just met off of this one or two interaction for this.
Because
what damage is done? You don't know each other.
He felt comfortable to disrespect me without even knowing me. So that means he used to talking to women like that and have a projection of how women should be. And that's not correct.
Probably, because that's what he used to.
So that we're not on the same page.
Probably may want to twist it around and probably, depending on the age. If this is, I'm assuming we're talking about somebody maybe 30 and 40. Now, somebody under that is different. But if somebody who is in their 30s and 40s, as far as with men, they're starting to go into a different life cycle. So they may try, assuming the women they hang around may accept how they talk. But now he came to you. Oh, she not like that based off of what she said. Okay, so let me just switch it up. Now I know I need to approach her differently. Sometimes you gotta give people a chance, not a chance of intimacy, but the chance in talking and explaining themselves. You know, that's what you, because you get that, I'm assuming you get a nervous energy when you're trying to get to know somebody. Like I said again, I don't know. Y'all be doing too much. I've been looking on this stuff, like I don't do no research and all that stuff, but I was looking at like the B4 movement that they's talking about, like, you know, B4 is what it's called. They started that in Korea. Yeah, where the women is like no or whatever. Period. And our birth rate is down by 70%. And first of all, can't nobody afford nothing. What is you doing trying to have kids? Thank you. Jumping up for joy to get a $20K bill.
You know what I'm saying?
For having a child. We don't have no jobs, no nothing. So what are you expecting for people to do? And then you put these stupid laws on the books and all that stuff, a bunch of old ass men and shit. It's different. And like I said, it's adjustment. It's still like an adjustment because my personality. But like I said, I'm grateful every day, you know, for the one time out to lunch, because there's no way. But see, to be honest, if I didn't have, you know, Eric, I would be single, because you know me. I ain't going through none of that stuff.
What do you feel about like the gender roles? What do you think about that?
Gender roles, meaning like women are supposed to do the men stuff? No, because I had that whole gender role mentality in my head, that for me and my personality, I need somebody also strong-minded and to even me out. Because you know how I can get. So I need that person to be an even, like a balance, like a yin and a yang. And my thing was like, okay, I need to have these tall, big, callousy hands and out and doing all that. Because that would, you know, I'm like, okay, but yeah, I got tall or whatever, ain't no cows or whatever. But because I know, you know what feeling I'm talking about, right?
What? Which one?
The feeling when you're trying. Yeah, like, okay, is this?
I ain't never been in love in my goddamn life. Don't you ever try me ever in your? Oh,
you're so silly. Not love, but that feeling of being nervous and scared of talking to somebody because you may be wanting to. Not that feeling. So that's why this subject for me is, because I'm not typical in the brain.
You sure ain't. Your whimsy is at a 90. Like. Your ass is like,
yeah, because what do you mean?
But like you said at the beginning, you was like that. But what made you change your mind is to,
because actually being in a relationship, your partner may not feel good on a certain day. You may have to pick that up. The partner cannot just feel good, but may have an illness that you would have to adjust those roles and all of that stuff. And it's almost like everybody say, well, 50-50. A relationship is not 50-50. Because if you're paying attention to each other, some days you may have to do 80 and your partner can only do 20. You may be able to do 60 and your partner do 40, whatever. You're respecting each other and you're looking at each other and looking at the struggles and all that stuff. And sometimes, you'll be aggravated because you feel somebody ain't doing their part. Y'all both feel whatever, but then that's where communication. But as far as that gender roles and all that stuff, no. Because if you have kids and y'all both working, okay, you got to pick up the kids. The husband should be at the table helping with homework while you as the wife are cooking. When you finish cooking, you know, I'm assuming as a wife, when you're cooking or whatever, the person cooking, you clean as you go. Okay, fine. So, okay, now the kids' homework is finished. You finish cooking, y'all eat. Okay. The husband can come and clean the dishes and clean the table while you go and get the kids in the bath. You know what I'm saying? And then once the kids in the bath down, he finished the kitchen, you finish getting the kids together and all that stuff, and y'all play with the kids together. Okay, 8 o'clock or what time it is, y'all get the kids to bed. Then y'all got time for each other. Take a shower, y'all can have a little adult time. Now, in that situation where things get all mushed up is when y'all both working, and maybe the husband tired, he come home and he just playing games and doing nothing, expecting you to come home, cook, get the kids together, do their homework and all that stuff, and then 12 o'clock comes, talking about we ain't spend no time together. Okay, you didn't help me do nothing, and you saw me. That's when a lot of that where guys think, okay, well, you supposed to cook, but you got to get together. Okay, but you're gonna be complaining I'm not spending time with you, but you're not helping me, and we got these kids. You see, I'm doing this, why you can't do that? So we can then have that time together like that. So then that's but that's communication. That's communication, and I think that's where a lot of like some divorces and situations come where that gender role is there. That whole thing was, women can't live without men, but no, we can. We don't feel no type of way going to each other for comfort. We don't look at it as a lesser into helping each other out. Whereas men have this thing of, okay, I can't ask him for help or this Lord. Those are what they put on themselves. But you have to be able, there are men that know this and respect that. There are men that be men in. And I just wish that those men could somehow be more of a role model. So I wish those men would have thought that.
Okay, so I have one final question, Jessica, because I don't want to say I'm a man hater, because I like good men. I haven't came across any of the good men, but I know they're out there. But I am side-eyeing men. Like, I'm not fond of them. Let's say that there's just like a war that's happening where, the matriarchy is like tired of the patriarchy. We're like, listen, y'all have to go somewhere because the world is crying. Nobody likes you guys. You have to move. So we have to have a war. Okay? Who do you think is going to win?
What, a war of what?
A war of dominance. It needs to happen, obviously.
For men or women?
Yes. We have to just fight.
Women would.
We will win. Genius, bruh.
You don't need to be NC, and that's the difference. And that's why a lot of us got burnt to the stake.
Jessica.
That is, as a woman.
What a Scorpio is a Capricorn. Y'all bitches is wild. The only one that can upstage a Scorpio is a Capricorn.
We're not going through all that. And that's why I don't. That's why I can't have that's why I'm so glad I don't have a typical mind, a typical brain, because I see everybody and I don't know how y'all be functioning on the regular. I don't understand. And that's what makes me think a lot of people just like drama and don't know how to. People are too picky for them.
Jesse.
Huh?
Why I can't have no normal conversation with you? You always be.
Because I'm not normal and I don't get it. Y'all be pissing me off.
A little bit of drama. It's okay to have a little bit.
Not the unnecessary. The unnecessary drama. This
is our podcast back.
It's just like an explanation or maybe even a suggestion to probably move a little bit different. Don't settle. Never settle. But you have to be aware that people are different and they may interpret or move a little differently, but it's nothing wrong with that way. It is still come out to the right thing. We need to give each other a little bit more grace.
I agree. So
all right, is this over?
Yeah, this is the conclusion, because we know we talked a lot, so this is a conclusion. And in the next episode, we will give a little sneak peeks on the next episode once we get that together. And we'll be back same time next week.
Yeah, this was fun. This was
fun.
This was good. Okay.
Bye, guys. See you next time. we're gonna get some tea and put our slippers on.